to wave. Okay. Hi, my name is Emily Klein, and today I will be talking about why you should spend some of your free time volunteering at state parks. So imagine this, you're walking down to your mailbox, and you look through all your mail, and you get to that one letter you wish you hadn't have seen. Jury duty. Okay. And you instantly start thinking about how, oh, you don't have time, you have to go all the way downtown, it's going to be all day process, and you just don't want to do it. Technically, jury duty is not volunteering, but it does hold similar characteristics that volunteering does. You dedicate your time, unpaid or very little paid in this instant, to a cause, you're bettering the community with your actions, and you're put together with people that share a common trait. A Huffington Post article in January 2017, shows that only 25% of people volunteer, with the main reason of the other 75% being that they don't have enough time. Today I'm going to talk about how people spend their free time, as well as why volunteering at a state park is the best use of spending some of that free time. I have volunteered at a few places over the past several years, with a state park being the most recent, so I know the pros and cons of volunteering. So first we'll start about what people do in their free time. Free time is when you don't go to work and it's time not spent for other obligations, it's just yours to have. An Inc. article by Jessica Stillman in March of this year shows that the average American has about 5 hours of free time per day. A poll by the Bureau of Labor Statistics in December of 2016 shows that adults watch about 3 hours of TV per day in their free time. Although a poll by the Harris Analytics showed that only about 31% of people in 2016 showed an overall sense of happiness. This correlation between high TV watching and low happiness makes sense, especially for me when I spend my day off watching TV. I definitely don't feel happy or productive, and I wish I had more free time to spend doing other things. So now that I've talked about the issue, let's talk about why volunteering at a state park is a great way to utilize some of that free time that you have. First of all, it's a good way to get outside and get some fresh air. A New York Times article by Nouveau Chic in 2019, this year in June, shows that people have an overall sense of happiness when they spend at least 2 hours per week outside. They're more productive and they feel better about themselves. If you have 5 hours of free time per day, you can most definitely spend 2 of those hours per week outside volunteering at a state park. Another reason why you should volunteer at a state park is that you meet new people. Even if you aren't an environmental or nature enthusiast, it's still a great way to get outside and meet different people. The state park that I volunteer at, most of my fellow volunteers do not have an environmental or nature background. They're doctors and nurses and tech people, and they all came together just because they love the park, they love to do new things. And the final thing that's great about volunteering at a state park is that you better your community. State park means that it's local to you, and if it's trashed and in not great condition, that reflects your community. It's a great way to help clean up the community, whether you're helping clean trails or you're at the visitor center educating people about the park, maybe inspiring them to become volunteers. It's a great way to get out in your community and make it a better place. So visualize this. 20 years from now, nothing has changed. Still only a quarter of the population volunteers. Productivity is low and people become lazy and lack exercise. Now think of this, 20 years from now, half of the population starts to volunteer just 2 hours of their week to a state park. The parks are cleaner and more beautiful. More parks might open due to this. People are outside socializing with each other and overall just more happy. So today I have talked about why you should volunteer at a state park in some of your free time. I first started talking about what people do in their free time, such as watching TV, and why it could be more productive because only 31% of people in 2016 showed happiness overall. I then talked about the great opportunities that state parks have when you volunteer, such as meeting new people and bettering your community. And then I finished with what the world would look like with and without volunteers in 20 years. So I hope that I have convinced you that volunteering 2 hours of your week to help state parks is a great way to use some of your free time. Thank you. Now we'll have a 2-minute Q&A.
A question?
Yes.
What is the name of the park that you volunteer at, and what do you do there?
The name is Torrey Pines State Reserve, and I lead trail walks as well as host at the visitor center. Any more questions?
What is, I have a question. So what do volunteers do at state parks? Like I know you said you lead trail walks and volunteer, but like what do they need people to do?
It depends on the park that you volunteer at. State parks usually are low in staff, so any help that you want to do, if you don't want to be physical, you don't have to be out sweeping and cleaning trails. You could just be at the visitor center, just sitting at a desk, just welcoming people in. Or if you want to get out there and be more active, you can lead walks or see what exactly the park needs you to do. Any more questions? Yes.
How do you find parks that may need volunteers?
You can go online. There's a bunch of options there, or if there's a state park near you that's just the closest to you, it'd be easier to go to, you can call them. There are always parks that love help. So it just depends on which park you want to help.
Okay.
Do you have to have any like certifications or training to?
No, you can, if you have an interest, there's always something for you to do. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Time.
Thank you.